welcome to Quick Looks with the Casual Hour. My name is Bobby. Joining me tonight is the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, and we are going to that forgotten land with our friend Kirby.
I love Kirby.
Kirby's good, man.
I love Kirby the character.
Yeah, I think that Kirby as a character may be better than Kirby as a game.
I think I tend to agree with that. But Kirby games are always good, solid experiences, but none of them have ever been like, wow, holy shit, this is video games. It's always just kind of been like, oh, this is nice.
If you want good, solid experiences, you should like and subscribe to our channel. We talk about video games every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. over on Twitch, and we play games like Kirby on Mondays and Fridays over on Twitch, as well as record quick looks. Like and subscribe for top-tier professional gaming content. Chase, this is a departure, I believe. What can you tell me about this game that I should know?
Sure. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, like all Kirby games, pretty sure all Kirby games, developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo, obviously. This came out March 25th, 2022. And the big thing here is what you're doing. This is a three-dimensional Kirby game, and they haven't really done that before. There have been Kirby games that have been in 3D, like using polygons. There have been Kirby games that have toyed around and done like 2.5D kind of stuff, like the Nintendo 64 one, and the 3DS ones. But like this is the first, like, hey, you're running around as Kirby, X, Y, and Z axes.
It's because what I heard was they thought he was too round for 3D. But yeah, this is a full 3D. Like, it is not an open world Kirby, but it's definitely a little slices of a world that you can explore. One of those areas, and this is where you start when you load back into your game. This is the little Waddle Dee town, Waddle Dee village, Waddle Dee town.
I think it's town.
I don't know. And you're helping these fellows rebuild it, and you get some cool shit in doing that.
Yeah, they're all.
We'll come back.
The story is they're all getting stolen. They all get kidnapped by some entity that I haven't met yet in my playthrough. I'm through the first world and into the second. You're a little further than I am.
Let me cruise back to
from the trailers, it seems like some rabbits or some weird beast people have decided to kidnap all the Waddle Dees, and you're here to rescue all of them.
Yes, you are rescuing Waddle Dees. All right, so this is where you're going to come back to your Waddle Dee town, and you're going through each one of these stages. So this is the first world, and as you come into one, you'll see that there are parts of the mission that are usually hidden. So spoilers, but this is in the demo, so not a spoiler.
Yeah.
But there's going to be objectives that you can do in the game that will net you more Waddle Dees, and then you can get a full complete. So the Waddle Dee is like the main currency. There's going to be these little trials that you can do that are based off of your abilities, and you get a rune star from it. I think that's what they're called.
I believe so.
And the rune star is a currency that you use to upgrade your abilities back in Waddle Dee town. So we're gonna run through maybe one or two levels and hit up some of the shops back in Waddle Dee town, and that would probably be the objective of our quick look here. But I like it quite a bit. So the things that you would expect from a Kirby game are here. You know, you got nice jumping movements.
Yeah, you jump, you suck, you float if you double jump, and you can float indefinitely. Although, unlike most Kirby games, they do cap your height here quite a bit, because they going to this 3D thing. They try to play with height and scale a little bit, and sometimes they don't let you just completely cheese like you can in some Kirby games.
So I've evolved a handful
this is
of
the
my
upgraded
abilities.
cutter, isn't it?
Yeah, so you find blueprints in the game, and some of those are done by just pretty straightforward objectives. Beat this boss, you'll get a blueprint. Other times they're going to be hidden. But back in Waddle Dee Town, one of the things they added, which I think is rather cool, there's a historian that you can talk to, and they give some really interesting facts about, like, hey, this is the most popular, like today, right now, this is the most popular ability that you can get in the game. And some really fun stuff with that. But they also talk about, hey, you haven't missed a blueprint, you're doing good, so don't worry about that. You've got all the upgrades you need right now in the game, and I'll let you know if you don't. And I think that's a pretty cool way of balancing out some stuff.
So Kirby games have always been like pretty easy, like low difficulty. They are meant, I would say they are meant for kids to be like, hey, this is kind of your first platformer. If Mario is a little too difficult, Kirby is kind of where you start a kid, I would think.
Hell yeah.
Although this is, this pornography we're seeing, I don't know if this is for kids.
No, mouthful mode is the Netflix and chill of video games. I was gonna say, Chase, in our group message, I think we need to have a new category for our Game of the Year show this year.
Oh.
Most mouthful moment of the year.
Okay.
And because there's a lot of different things. So to my understanding, this is the first time that this has ever happened in a Kirby game. And as you can see, my Kirby is a vending machine. And he has abilities on top of abilities that they're, I don't want to say, I don't want to call them like a consumable, because that's not what I want to say about it at all. But it is a very limited use scenario in each level.
Yeah, like Kirby games all seem to have kind of a gimmick to them once you get to, I mean, even from the very beginning. The very first Kirby game didn't have a gimmick. Like, he didn't even get copy abilities in Kirby's Dream Land. But after that, the copy abilities came, and then there's always just been a new kind of thing. It's a little experimental here with just some of the kind of gimmicks they've got going on. So like for the Nintendo 64 game, it was dual powers. So you could take in 2 power-ups, and those would modify each other and turn into new copy abilities. So if you got electric and ice together, Kirby would turn into a refrigerator. And then he'd have different attacks based on that. But you could also just have regular ice powers or regular electric powers. Kirby's Dream Land 2 had the animal friends, and every time you got an animal friend, they would modify your powers as well. Like they each had their own thing. Rick, the hamster, could run a little faster, I think. Kine, the fish, could swim faster than Kirby for sure. And Koo, the owl, could fly. And every time you had a copy ability with those, they would change the way those copy abilities would work because you had the animal friend. This one is what you're seeing now, and it's this mouthful mode, which it doesn't modify your abilities because, like, see, you have the bomb power and the cone mouthful thing, but you're not doing any bomb power stuff. It's all cone. It's just you get to keep your ability once you get rid of the cone.
Correct. All cone all the time.
Yes, definitely.
The cone is, it's fine. I like it. Like, it's got a pretty good damage output compared to some of the other abilities, and I think it's a neat gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, they're all gimmicks. They're all extremely temporary. You don't keep them between levels. They make you get rid of them in these very linear levels. Like, you're only going to be able to do so much, but you do the stuff with them. It actually reminds me a lot of Mario Odyssey and the way they did the Cappy skills.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, here's stuff that Mario can generally do, but then in this level, you can have him take over this kind of creature with Cappy and do this kind of thing for a little bit. And it just kind of keeps the game fresh. And I think that's basically what they're doing here. The problem to me is that this game is not as interesting as Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey, no. It had levels that were, it wasn't an open world like this game, like we mentioned.
No.
But the levels were much more open, and they let you experiment a little bit more and just kind of try things out. And this is just very much a Kirby game that's in 3D, in that it is like, hey, you certainly are playing through a very linear Kirby game that has a couple of little secrets here or there, but that just is the game. That's all you're doing.
If I don't know if this is necessarily the best comparison, but for anybody who has played Pokemon Legends of Arceus, you could say like, hey, this game exists because of Breath of the Wild. And I think that you could say that this take on Kirby probably got some inspiration from Mario Odyssey, like to call that one back again, like
yeah. But
I think just
in that comparison, I would almost say it's closer to something like Pokemon Sword and Shield, where it's like, hey, look, it's in 3D, but we really didn't change the game other than that.
Yeah, and you and I were talking before this recording tonight, and I'll bring it over into here. Like if I love a game, and I think this is a good game. I'm not saying this is a bad thing about it, but I don't know how much I want to grind playing this game. Like, I think I enjoy this in small doses. I think this is the game I'd like to play between some of these other big games I'm playing right now as a way to like relax.
Yeah.
Maybe even listen. Like, I like the music in this game quite a lot. So I don't know if I want to put a podcast on, but this is a podcast game to me. Like, this is something I'm doing while doing listening to something like that.
It's a palate cleanser for sure. Like, it is
absolutely.
It is not a very taxing game. Like, I'm imagine you are playing this, Bobby, on wild mode, correct?
Couldn't you tell?
Yeah. Wild mode, I don't think really changes the game at all. Like, maybe Kirby takes a little bit more damage from enemies, but I have not noticed any real difference playing on wild mode versus the normal or the easy mode the mild mode or whatever you want to call it. But apparently you get more of those star coins by playing on this mode, which will let you buy more things in Waddle Dee Town.
Yeah, and I've barely had to, like, you can see that I have that up there. Like, there's a car cake that I have in the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
Yeah.
And you can only carry one of those at a time, but there's different ones you can get. Like, one of them is a laughable attack up. Like, when on earth am I going to need one of those?
And I don't know.
But the thing here is like that cake is designed to restore my health. And I don't even think I've had a fail state where I would need that.
No, certainly not. Like, and these games are not built to be difficult, and that's fine. I think they're really built for children to, like, hey, this can be an early video game for a kid. They can explore, they can have a good time. They're not going to get lost, and you know, it is still fun. It's still an enjoyable experience. You just can't go in here thinking you're going to be doing much in the way of challenge. It does have those kind of secret areas that are off the beaten path. Maybe you can show off one of those now that you finish this stage. But those have time trials on them. They have target times for those, and those target times, I'll say, are difficult to hit on your first playthrough. It took me 2, maybe 3 times to get a lot of those target times, and I would say that's kind of where the challenge is. The problem is there's no real reward for it. You get 50 more of these star coins, and it's like star coins are just growing on trees. It's not a big deal.
So I did that. This whole area that we're in right now, I've gotten every single thing I could, including all the challenges at the higher difficulty.
Yeah.
And I thought that maybe there would be like a bigger gift for having everything done, and it's not. So now I'm not even worried about it. On these side quests on the other levels, I'm just getting the star and moving on.
Yep. Totally. I do them once now because at some point I'm just like, you know what? I don't think I'm getting anything out of this. It is a challenge. Maybe I could see somebody treating this like the Astrobot game. The what's the new one? Or the PS5 one.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, it's not Astrobot. I mean, it is, but I can't. Whatever. You know the game we're talking about. Like the way people have gotten into time trials with those, with that speedrunning section of that game, I could totally see people doing a similar thing and having clips of showing people like, oh, look at my time in this Kirby game or in this Kirby section.
really quick, I thought I had a blueprint I was going to turn in,
Yeah.
and I was going to show the upgrade. I just didn't save the level from the last one. Anyway, this is the guy I was telling you about.
Yeah.
He gives you some like pretty wild stats. And anyway, check that out, and I'll go do that other mission right now.
Astro's Playroom. That's what it is.
That's it.
No. Yes. Yes. Astro's Playroom. That's the one I'm talking about. The problem is this game doesn't have it does have some online features. Like you just showed that Wild D who's telling you like, hey, look at all the people in the world are using this, or here's a crazy number that we're pulling stats from. But it's not like there are online leaderboards going, who's the best bomb treasure player,
right?
And that's kind of sucky because that's what Astrobot does, and I would say that's a reason people played Astro way longer than they played the main story.
Totally.
I do like these levels just as an idea of like, hey, here's
I'm not doing good right now.
Here's an idea of like, maybe you don't are they timed? Maybe they were timed. I don't know.
I don't think those were.
I like these that sometimes they kind of make you think like, oh, I didn't know I could use my power to do that. And they'll give you, like, maybe not tutorials exactly, but maybe just little, like, oh, that's interesting. That's something I hadn't considered before.
Yeah, there was one that I like with the ice mission or the ice hat. I was like, I didn't even know that you could do that sort of thing.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. The one where you can mash.
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, that's kind of cool.
It's like, you didn't tell me about that. Okay.
So you can see my best time here was 28 seconds. They'll keep that for you. You can see what your current time is. You do get some more coins. So I would say like if you were, and if you do it in the objective with wild mode turned on, you're going to get like 50 extra.
Yeah.
I don't see how anybody would have to grind for those fucking coins in this game.
And
whatsoever.
I think you'd get more out of just doing a regular stage. Even doing a stage over again, it'd be faster to grind one of those instead.
Now there are certain ones that won't pop up on their own, and like there's been a few other things that like I would just encourage you to scoot around these overworlds, because like it'll pop up and say search, so like this one over here, and you'll find that the hidden ones in each world are a mouthful mode.
Yes, I have noticed that.
That one sucked. That one was not fun.
I do like how many mouthful mode things are in here, though. It's not just the ones you saw, Kirby and the vending machine and the ring. Like those are definitely in here, but there are also ones like that stairs one that I think is really interesting from a gameplay perspective. I haven't played that challenge mode yet, so I don't know if that one sucks, like you say it does. But I do like how you can play around with it in these levels, and there is a lot of experimentation going on. Oh, look at that!
That's pretty good.
It is. That is cute. Is that like a side objective?
Not that. I thought that would be for sure.
Yeah.
And you can go into both ones too. So if I want to be the octopus.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's so good.
But you'll notice I have these little ducks with me, and I mean, as much as I love it, and it's supposed to be reunite the ducks with their mom. Their mom's right there. Like your ducks aren't that far. But,
yeah, it's like you haven't lost your kids. They're around. They're just playing.
But look how sad they look. Like this one right here. It just looks. Where's my mom? You can literally see it.
I have never known true happiness.
But if you don't bring the ducks back to the mom, you're a monster, and you don't deserve Kirby or anything good in life.
That's true. Save the animals in Metroid, people.
Yes. All right, so we can keep running through here a little bit. Maybe we'll do this and call it after that.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
well,
you know what?
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we do a boss fight too.
Okay.
Ooh. So this is the upgraded fire ability.
Something volcano.
You shoot out these molten rocks. Have you tried attacking when you're in the air?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I do like this in that there seem to be multiple moves for each copy ability.
Yeah.
Which in some Kirby games you get, in a lot of modern ones I think you get more of, but in original Kirby, you had very limited move sets. You usually just had one single attack with each power up. Like this in Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland or Kirby's Adventure, since those are kind of the same game. There were actually two fire abilities. One was called Fire, which was the kind of general attack that you do when you're just pressing B in this mode. But the other one was called Burning, I think, and that was the fireball that you do in the air. But they were two separate abilities, and then they're like, you know what? What if we just had expanded movesets for some of these copy abilities, and we can do both now with the same one? Oh, you've got upgraded hammer too.
Yes, sir. I had this helmet, and I got a mouthful mode for the car, and it had like the little helmet on. It was really dumb, but really good. I'm not giving away all the secrets on this playthrough, by the way. No. So I want you to be able to. They're not hard. It's not like I'm like gatekeeping, because I don't think that you should solve the Kirby puzzles on your own.
And hey, even if you don't solve the Kirby puzzle on the first playthrough, they then tell you, okay, here are all the secrets of the stage.
Yes, which is a very cool thing.
Yeah, or at least they tell you what to do, not exactly how to do it or where to find it. But that helps. So when I had one, like on the first boss, which maybe we'll show off, there were a couple of secrets, and it's like, I don't know how you find these other secrets. It's really just like one room to go find the boss and fight him. And I got one that was like, oh, you beat him in under 2 minutes. Like, okay. But there was another one that popped up afterward that was like, oh, hey, did you know you can slide under his feet? Slide between his legs. And I went, oh, well, I didn't even try that. I guess I'll need to play that over again and see what that's like, because I kind of want to do those things. It'll get me another Waddle Dee.
Yeah, and the Waddle Dees are proving to be useful to have. I mean, they unlock more abilities in your town. And so far, they haven't done anything with, like, blueprints. But it is something where, you should. Like, it's easy enough, and, I think it's worth doing. This is a really good one, by the way.
Oh, yeah. The water balloon one. Oh, look at him. Oh, you got... Okay. All right. Now it's just Mario Sunshine.
Hell yeah.
Do you have a limited amount of water in this mode?
No, I thought you would get smaller over time, but you're just a balloon, man.
It is a little bullshit that when you're in the vending machine mode, they're like, oh, you only have 1,000 cans of soda, which is way more than you'll ever need for sure. But also, it's like, why limit that? That's unnecessary. You don't need that.
I think the water puddle beneath you is a good thing here.
Yeah, it's like, no matter how easy this game is, it's just nice. It's just nice to play, and I think you have 100%. The right of it. It's not a game you're gonna want to play straight through. That just seems like pain just to try to slog through this very 100%. Easy game. But if you come at it like you said, where you kind of, it's just a palate cleanser. Maybe you play it 20 minutes a day. Maybe you do, 2 or 3 levels. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I can see how that would be a totally enjoyable way to spend your time, and that's probably how I'm going to play this.
Yeah, so there's a couple other games that, like, the last few weeks I've just been aggressively playing through, and to have a game that is as laid back as this has been just really pleasant, which is, I think, what Kirby wants to be. Like, Kirby doesn't want to be anything but pleasant. And anybody who wants to make him non-pleasant, you're a monster. Think about your life and your sins and your deeds.
At the same time, I don't want this game to not be pleasant, but I do think this would be interesting if it was more like Mario Odyssey, where if these were, not so linear levels, if they were just kind of big and open, and let you experiment and go find copy abilities and bring them back and try a couple different things. I think that seems like that would be kind of fun. Whereas this is, just a pretty linear thing, and it's fine. It's fine. It's great. It's a great little Kirby game. It's just I don't see it being anybody's favorite thing.
Yeah, I mean, the reviews are very positive for it. I've seen a lot of like 8 to 10 scores, primarily a lot of 9s, and I don't know what else I'd want from. I mean, like you mentioned Mario Odyssey, like yes, of course, like make it more open in that sense, but like I think for what Kirby is, like they've done some cool stuff here.
Yeah, it's fine. It's in three. It's a 3D Kirby game in every sense of the word, and that's great. Would I like it to be a little bit more ambitious and be closer to something like Mario Odyssey or like Mario Galaxy? Like think about all the fun ways they played around with Mario's abilities in that. They just don't kind of do here. But
yeah,
it gets you through. It's fine. It's a fun little thing. And for a guy who's playing a lot of turn-based strategy games that are 30, 40, 50-hour games or longer, this is kind of nice to just jump in and play a little bit of and have a decent little time.
Yeah, the one thing that like the upgrades for these abilities it's laughable how cheap they are.
Yeah.
It's like 2 rune stars and 500 coins. So I don't know if there's only one upgrade per ability or if there's going to be more, but it would be neat if they made that like more like not grindy, but like let me burn up some different ability or points or something like that.
So Bobby, you're doing something that I think is funny, but also just a universal truth to Kirby, which is when you fight these bosses, it's you should never fight a boss in Kirby with a copy ability because they just do so little damage that it's pretty laughable. The boss will always do something that makes stars appear. And sucking up those stars and shooting them back at the boss is always the most effective way to take these out. Unless you have an extremely niche copy ability that is perfect for hitting the boss a bunch of times, this just always does more damage.
And some of these, they're going to want you, like, if you want to get, like, all the abilities for it, they're going to want you to, like, not all the abilities, I'm sorry, if you want to get all the Waddle Dees, like, hey, you need to beat this boss with this ability or do this sort of status effect type deal. I can tell you I've fought 2 bosses now, and the one constant there is the one constant there, I'm sorry, is that they want you to not take any damage to get one of those.
I see. Yeah,
so,
sure.
This one had it clear within 2 minutes. Don't take any damage.
Defeat him with the sword ability. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That gives a little bit of replayability to something that otherwise wouldn't really have it.
Yeah, totally. Let me head back to Waddle Dee Town and we'll call it there.
It's tough. I feel like we're kind of meh on this game, but I don't mean to be. It's just a perfectly fine one of these, which is an enjoyable experience. It's not going to knock your socks off, I don't think.
It depends on what you want. Like I'm really enjoying it, but I've also played some absolutely like earth-shattering, amazing experiences this year, and not that I anticipated Kirby to be like a top 5, top 10 even game for me. I think that we should want games like Kirby to exist. We need games that are easy breezy fun. Mm-hmm. We don't need games that challenge our way of thinking or our skills.
Not every game has to be Elden Ring.
100%. Like I can play both of these games and feel very content knowing that I've had a great experience with both of those. Very different, but great.
Yeah. One more thing we didn't mention. Can you just hit the pause button for me?
Yep. Oh, that's not the pause button.
That's not that. There you go. So at any time, you can go and play this in co-op, where the bandana Waddle Dee, he usually has a spear. I don't know if he has a spear in this one. But that is just a local co-op partner. Unfortunately, no online co-op, or I would have jumped in. But at any time, drop in, drop out co-op, and it's not another Kirby. You're not going to be able to grab multiple copy abilities. But Waddle Dee has always had a fun moveset. In the other Kirby games that I've played, the Wii one, where he was a playable character, he was really fun in that. So I could see this being a totally fun thing. If you have a kid, the kid gets to play as Kirby and do all the fun stuff, and then you as a parent can play as Waddle Dee. And Waddle Dee usually has a pretty fun moveset to use. That he's a set moveset, but at least fun stuff. So I would encourage people to maybe play this game co-op if they can, because I think that would actually be a lot of fun.
Yeah, if this game was online co-op, I would say that maybe, just maybe, I'd be having a better time with it.
Yeah, I would totally play this with you.
Like, I would say, hey, let's play through Kirby together and have a really cool experience with that. And I could, and I probably will, ask Sarah if she wants to play.
Sure.
A really great couch co-op experience that you can have that for.
So you're on the third world, Bobby, correct?
Yeah.
And it looks like you found every ability, according to this section. Like, it looks like they're all here.
I think I got everything so far.
Maybe not the evolved versions of everything, but you have everything. Okay.
These two are evolved. I don't know if there's an evolution of that one. That's evolved. Mm-hmm. I saw the blueprint in the third world for that.
Okay.
That's evolved. That is not evolved. That one's not. This one's not.
That one doesn't have one, I don't think. I think Sleep is kind of the bad one, where Kirby just takes a nap, which is cute. Apparently there's some, I saw a level where there's a bunch of falling blocks, or like when you're playing Mario, like those donut blocks that will, when you stand on them, they fall. And the bridge thing, this donut bridge kind of thing, is covered in those sleep abilities, so you just have to avoid them, because if you hit one of them, Kirby's gonna fall asleep and then fall to his death, and that's fun. That's a good fun thing. I like that.
That's a good fun thing.
God, look at that mess.
Yeah, that's
fucking
gross,
Katamari over here.
This has been Kirby in the Forgotten Land. It is a very good one of these. It is a fine video game by all standards. It's a fun video game. It is just a really chilled out, easy breezy game. So if you know what you're getting into and you are able to enjoy that, I think this is going to be fantastic. If you're wanting a hard as nails or tougher or more challenging experience, probably not the game for you. But it's adorable. It's got a ton of polish to it, and I think it's
just
done
killed
really
those
well.
Waddle Dees. Oh no, they're okay. They're okay.
They'll come back. They're just plain dead.
Oh no! Kirby's the real monster.
He is a real monster. If you want to hang out with some other monsters, as I mentioned earlier, we do stream over on twitch.tv/casual hour Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We post our podcast that we record Wednesdays every Friday morning, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you wanted to sound off on your thoughts on Kirby, do so here on YouTube. That helps us out quite a bit. So give us a like, subscribe, and interact with things. Chase, appreciate you swinging by the Forgotten Land with me, and we will talk with you all soon.